programs, it is for the startups who already have existing businesses, existing ventures, and are now looking to take the next step. So how do you go and scale your business? How do you go into new markets? How do you get new products? So, and that is kind of in a nutshell the work that we do. But today we are here to talk about some of the programs that we are running. And one of the key programs that we have been doing for the last 12 months is the MasterCard Foundation EdTech Fellowship Program, where we have been supporting EdTech entrepreneurs just to scale up their solutions. So at this point, I'd like to hand over to the MC, who's going to invite my colleague to come and tell me what about the program.
Thank you very much, William. And there's something I forgot to say. I'll give you a parting shot before you go. Maybe some of us will be called the honorable. Fine. Maybe. Maybe not. But our boss has head of state commendation. Fine. But there's something about you. All right? You share the name with the president. Bwana, you're William. So you must be a happy man. So Williams are good. And before I welcome our next speaker, as they sort out some issues, I don't know. I want to find out whether it is true that all people in tech do not have a bald head. Because even in this room, it looks like I'm the only one with a bald head. Because I'm not in tech. Okay, sawa. By the way, all guys who deal with computers have hair. I wonder why. Bro, why? Fine. Now, at this point, we come from an age. I come from a county where when you go to count, when they do census, when somebody comes to your home, if your wife and the kids are there, they are not allowed to speak to anyone if the husband is not there. When they count children, wanasema mzee wa boma, then the wife and everybody else ni watoto. That is how bad sometimes it gets. But today we are happy that we're able to introduce great women and ladies who are in the tech industry and are leading, like Chip Kimboy. And I want to introduce to you a giant, a female giant. How do we call it? Because when Brian is a giant, we say Bryant. Yes. So I want to introduce to you a giant in tech from iHub by the name, Tabitha Ngugi. Welcome.
Where? That was an introduction and a half. Hi, everyone. So before we go to Tabitha Ngugi, there was a slide before that. So I'm just going to give you in 1 minute what this is. So as iHub, we're in 4 locations. So in Kenya, we are known as iHub. Our parent company is CC Hub. That's the biggest one. It's in Nigeria. And then in Rwanda, we are known as Design Lab, and then CC Hub in Namibia. So that's what that is. We have 4 locations. So I'll move from that to, So like he said, I'm Tabitha Ngugi, and I'm the Learning Science Manager. I'm sure you're all like, the learning who? But that's what we get at iHub. Every time I say what I do, everyone is like, and what exactly is a Learning Science Manager? So I sit between, so there's innovators like him, right, in tech, and a lot of them are techies, pure computer geniuses. And then there's a teacher in school who's waiting to use what he's creating, but who's sitting in between them to ensure that the techie knows how to deliver learning outcomes, and that the teacher knows how to use what the techie is creating. So that's me. I sit somewhere in between them. So this is our theory of change. Our theory of change is just basically, so we've identified that we want to make changes in education, but how? So there's 4 pillars here. There's teachers. So we promote the adoption of innovative pedagogies. So we have a teacher's lounge. which means teachers, mostly in Nairobi. We are coming to Eldoret soon, actually. So, Mr. Mheshimiwa, you will be seeing me in 2 weeks. We want to do some work here as well. So we have a teachers lounge so in Nairobi we have a lot of teachers who come to build their capacity in different things. So most recently we had teachers come to build their capacity in AI. So I'll ask a question. We had 100 teachers in a room. I know you all of you look like your average age here looks like 25. So you all know what ChatGPT is, yes? Good. So we had about 80 teachers in a room. Who wants to guess how many had just tried to log in to ChatGPT in December last year? Who wants to guess? Just guess. Out of 80, how many do you think had logged into ChatGPT? Not you, other people. 40, that's half. 30, good. Any other guesses? 70 out of 80. Okay, Mheshimiwa? 15, you're right, we had 8. 8 teachers only had even tried, because they're using it and there's even just logging in to see what is this thing people are talking about. So the work we are doing with teachers is, a lot of them are scared of the tech because there's a lot of talk of it's going to replace what they're doing. And I'm usually number one to say you cannot replace the teacher. And every time you see a teacher, you should bow down. If you've been in a room with 3 children, just 3, you know that children can drive you insane. The teachers do that every single day. And that's the reason why we are all here. So I'm very passionate about saying that even though I sit in between them and I work in tech now, the teacher will never, ever, ever be replaced. So we do a lot of work with teachers to build their capacity, change their mentality and their attitude so that when he gets his tech into school, the teacher is not thinking, one more thing for me to learn, why? So that's a slow process, but we've seen a lot of growth for the teachers. We have WhatsApp groups, we have training sessions where they come and we teach them everything and they can ask questions without judgment. I'll move to the students. We do a lot of work with students. We have various practices. There's a HEI, which is for universities, but we also do a lot in STEM. So most recently we had a tech challenge for kids who are coding, and they had created actual physical things that could be brought to the market to solve different problems that we are facing. And they won. It was a proper challenge that had 2 or 3 stages, and they came from Kibera, everywhere in the country. And it's been great to see students understanding STEM and looking at. There's one who was from St. George's. So we asked her why. Well, why did you create the thing that she created? She told us that in their school, every day at 4 p.m., the tank overflows. The tank overflows so bad that it becomes a river, the tank of water. And then the teacher is always shouting, Hamuoni maji kwa nini? Why is no one? Kwa nini amfungi it up? And so whoever is nearest the tank at the time gets into trouble. And so she wondered, what can she do to solve that problem? And so she actually created a mini tank with a valve that has a sensor. So when the water gets to a certain level, she programmed it to switch off the tap at 80%. This is someone who was in class 7. So she programmed it so that it sensed that the tank is at 80% and it automatically went off. So those are the kind of innovations that we've been witnessing, and it's been great to see those of us of our generation at class 7. Please, you are not thinking of solving any problems around you. You're just trying to get through life and get to Form 4 so you can finish and then live life if we knew. So next to that we have EdTech Innovators. That's these guys. And that's at the heart of what we do. At the center of CC Hub and iHub is collaboration and, most importantly, innovation. So you'll hear from the next giant who's coming up about this program that we have been running for. So now they're in post-acceleration. Now she'll tell you about it. But the point is that we have a lot of EdTech innovators who are applying. Please, please, please apply. Don't feel like you're too small. Don't feel like your idea isn't good enough. Please apply. We are happy to listen to you and to coach you and to answer all your questions. So we have EdTech innovators who she'll tell you about how we are supporting. So I'm going to skip that one because it has. And then we have the government, the conqueror, the champion. The government is here, yes. So we cannot do all these things if the government is not supporting. We can make all these shiny things. The teachers can be willing, the students can have all the knowledge. If the government is not doing what they should, none of it works, right? So the government has been key for us in a lot of ways. We hold a lot of roundtable discussions for them to come and tell. We've actually invited the innovators and the government in one room and then had them go at each other. So what's your problem? Then we've had innovators say, so I have the solution, I have content. When I get to KICD, it's too expensive for me to get approval. Or nobody's interested, I don't know where to go. It seems like it's so hard to get in. Then we've also had the government say, there's 1 million of you small ones. Why don't you come together and tell us what exactly you need for us to support? So it's been strategic and very intentional for us to bring everyone together, and the government say, so if you need approval from us, these are the things that we need to see from you. And then see the innovators say also that we've done these things and these things and these things, and you guys are still acting like we're not doing enough. So we have a lot of those open discussions that help both sides understand, because now he sits on both sides. He's an innovator, but he's also government now. So I think you would be key in growing this area, because you remember iHub when you're in iHub and the struggles you went through just trying to create a product. Before you even get to product market fit, you're still struggling with so many other things. And with EdTech, for you to get into a public school, you get the head teacher, the first thing they say is, "Uko na barua? Do you have a letter from the government?" And that your dream ends at the door where you entered, right? So it's for us also creating a lot of ways for them to know, so how na barua, now what do you need to do as a young person, a 22, 23-year-old with a great innovation in EdTech? So now what? How do you get to the place where it's in the market, it's being adopted in schools, and it's actually impacting learning outcomes, which is what we are passionate about. So that is basically, in a nutshell, what we do in education. I will mention one more thing that's bringing us here to Eldohub again in 2 weeks. I know I am telling you right now in front of everyone. So we have another program with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation in Evelyn. That's Foundational Literacy and Numeracy, so very young kids. And we'll be back here because we need the support of the government to pilot EdTech solutions that fall under that category, and that's some of the work we do. So we do a lot of things around education, whether it's teachers, whether it's innovators, whether it's students. We are in every area trying to ensure that the entire ecosystem works the way it should. And so we are happy for this convening. This is great for us to all be in the same room and for us to leave Nairobi and come here and see that what we are seeing there is here. We just need to strengthen everyone where they are. So without much further ado, I'm going to give this back to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chabida. That is not enough. Wait, let's go again. So we go back to the other era of the Toroitich era. If you know who Toroitich is. So tunasema moja. Okay, let's go. 1, 2, tatu, funga, fungua. Asante. The only thing I have failed to understand, hii kitu ya funga, fungua inakuanga nini? So I think somebody will be able to tell us. The next speaker on stage, and I hope after this conversation, we'll have a Q&A session immediately after this. Ataongelea mambo ni matatu. We have 3 things. 1, she'll talk about MasterCard Foundation. 2, she'll talk about EdTech Fellowship Program. Ya tatu, atajibu maswali yenu. We must have a conversation. Definitely. So, and that person I hope I still remember the name because I don't have the program. No, I will not look at the name. Let me just guess. Another tech giant. Somebody who's made it. And thank you, Magdalene, because I told you where I come from. Sisi tukifika si ndio wadosi, lakini tukifika town, tuko tu hapo, tunanyenyekea. Yes. And nowadays, you know, we don't say yes, sir. Squeeze it on yes, madam. So the women in the house, congratulations. Clap for yourself. By the way, the men are many in this sitting. Yeah, sisi tuko. Thank you so much. It's somebody by the name Kambe Ngali, right? Wow. Let's welcome with a round of applause, Kambe Ngali. Welcome.
Thank you so much. And it's really a great honor to be here. So actually, mambo ni manne. Yeah. So, ya kwanza, I just want to give a special thanks to Eldohub. Thank you for having us here. So we had a conversation with Magdalene early this January, and she mentioned that there are actually EdTech innovators in Eldoret that are doing great work, and that's why we should come and see the great work that you're doing, and hopefully have you join the MasterCard Foundation EdTech Fellowship Program. So thank you so much, Eldohub, for having us and opening your doors for us to come and share the program that we're running at iHub. So thank you. Hiyo ni mambo ya kwanza. Yes. All right. So I'd like to just give you an overview of how MasterCard Foundation and iHub, how we're coming together to bring this narrative for EdTech, and also to see how are we going to support EdTech startups within Africa. So we came together, and this is a collaboration of iHub and MasterCard Foundation, and we're looking at how can we work with these EdTech startups so that we can enhance the learning outcomes in Africa, and also accelerate the access of equitable and quality education for Africa's next generation. So with all the solutions that we have here, I know we have a lot of EdTech solutions that are international, but what we're really trying to achieve is how can we produce local EdTech products that we can use locally, because we would know the pain points. I know you would know the pain points that you went through in school, and then that would motivate you to actually create solutions that would actually work for Kenya. So today we will be here to give an info session. All right, just a second. So we'll be going through the info session. So maybe just an overview. We have been running the MasterCard Foundation EdTech Fellowship Program from last year. So we already had our first cohort, and it had 12 amazing EdTech solutions. And why we are coming to Eldoret, even as we're doing the call for application, is also to see how can we get EdTech startups in Eldoret to apply for this program, and also enhance the learning outcomes in Eldoret, you know, so that all the education quality is standard in all the counties. So that is what we're really keen on, and also to see how can all the counties improve in also what we are trying to achieve in education in Africa. So I'll just give, these are some of the impact stories for the first cohort that we ran. So before I go ahead and share more about the MasterCard EdTech Fellowship Program, I'd like you to have a glimpse of some of the startups that we worked with and some of the amazing work that they did. So William, help us.
which is an African publishing house with presence in 10 African countries.
For us, we're selfishly growing a group of scientists that probably we can talk to later in the scientific terms and make them understand things about science. You know, our whole goal is to make Africa into a technological state, and we decided that we should start with the children when they're younger.
One of the problems that we had was the lack of devices. Devices like laptops and robot kits, which hindered us in a way that we only could teach in schools that had laptops. Well, thanks to the Mastercard program, we have been able to make so much impact in Kenya.
We are so grateful as Lower Learning for the opportunity to be part of Mastercard Foundation Fellowship Program. It has really been really helpful to us. There are quite a number of achievements that we have realized as Lower Learning ever since we joined the program. The first one, I would say, we've been able to bring together and assemble a competent team. We have realized an increased average engagement time on our ebooks platform by 66%. That's a big number. We are really proud of that.
Some of the achievements we've been able to achieve from an outcome perspective is the number of new learners we've been able to have. So we launched a new product, cloud solution, integrated with the telecom network, and we managed to get over 2,000 new learners on it, who are able to have subscription on a daily basis. In the recently closed grade 6 assessments and the KCPE, we managed to see an increase in the number of learners who are actually dialing in on a daily basis to be able to have the assessment. And this is geographically meaning all over the country, places that you've not been there before, just because the telco network is in there and they have a Safaricom, the SIM card and a smartphone and 20 shillings. We have now been able to take the impact out there. For example, we've been able to scale to 9 counties. We now have a branch in Kisumu with employees there. Mombasa, where we are serving over 10 schools. Nakuru, where we are serving 5 schools. Embu, Nanyuki, all these are new openings of our branches where we didn't have them before the program. But more importantly, we are now able to serve our customers better. Why? We now have enough devices. We have over 2,500 laptops that enable kids to learn how to code. We have towns where kids, if it was not for this program, would never have a chance to actually hold a laptop. But thanks to this program, they are not only able to have a laptop, but to learn how to code. We've also been able to increase our talent. Previously, when we started, we had only 12 employees. Now we have over 32 people who directly benefit from this company, and hundreds of others who support the company, maybe through transport and providing printing materials, thanks to this program.
So thanks to the program, we've been able to increase our team. Before we started as 4 members, now we've added 6 and we are 10. And now this team has also helped us to increase the number of students that we can deal with. The other thing that has come out heavily is doing events and festivals. So before it was very low-key doing some of these events and festivals. So in all, the program has actually helped us reach more students, more teachers, more pupils, just to get them to know that this product is there, that they can actually do science with materials that are easily accessible to them, things that you can find in your kitchen, in the supermarket, to continue learning science.
Thank you. And as you can see, so let me tell you one interesting thing. Some of these startups who came for the program, they're not like this. And some of my team members would attest to that. So some came with, products that they still needed improvement. They needed to include some of the components. And through the program, they were able to achieve that. And you could see people like Smart Brains Kenya. They were working with a few laptops. And through the program, they were actually able to get 2,500 laptops, which they were able to expand to the 10 counties. So that's why we really want you to apply for the program so that we can see how are we going to change the education narrative in Africa. If it is not us who are going to change, then who are going to change? So maybe I can just give you a brief of the first cohort. So ideally, the program ran for 6 months, And then most of the people usually ask, so after the 6 months, so it's buy and go. So what we've also designed is the post-acceleration support. So apart from the 6 months, we give them post-acceleration support for 12 months. And throughout these 12 months, we're giving them access to our internal experts and also the external experts that we work with. But the key thing for the MasterCard Foundation EdTech Fellowship Program, we're just looking at how can we increase the impact. So if you're making impactful things within education, then this is the right program for you to apply for. So I'll just go through who are the eligible startups to apply for this program. So we're looking at startups all the way from K to 12, tertiary, formal skills, school management systems, corporate learning, informal skills, and any innovations within EdTech. So K to 12 ideally would be kindergarten to 12 years. And then we've had really amazing solutions that are informal skills, you know, and also informal skills. So we had an interesting applicant who applied in the last cohort, but unfortunately they were not able to get in because of some things, but we have still encouraged them to increase in terms of what is the impact that they are creating. So the informal skill was a startup that was doing something on educating mechanics. And in our last cohort, we had actually a startup that was educating farmers. So it's just not EdTech, your typical EdTech for students, but how are you educating this these people who are maybe trying to get jobs, who are trying to improve their skills, their formal skills. So those are the kind of the solutions that we're looking at, and it's not limited to EdTech where it's school-going children, but looking at EdTech at a whole. So what are some of the program benefits? So in the program, we're giving equity funding of 100,000 USD, equity free funding for all the 12 startups that are part of the program. So this is not a competition, but we are giving to all the 12 startups so that they can improve on their products and they can improve in the solutions. As I mentioned, we're looking at the learning outcomes and ideally the impact that we're going to create in Africa. So that is something that will help in the different parts of the EdTech solutions. Then we have access to experts. You've had Tabitha speaking about learning science, and most of the startups that actually join our program, the most asked question is, what is learning science? You know, so they're wondering, so, I mean, my solution is good. My marketing and sales is fantastic. But learning science is a component where how can you measure that students are learning, that the solution probably that you're creating, the students are actually, you know, getting it, or you can measure the learning outcomes. So that's what our learning science team does to ensure that your product actually makes sense and it's usable to the different schools and even to children who may not be in school, but as a parent I can be able to track, okay, my child is improving on this and this element. So apart from that, we have product development and we have experts who will help you on your product. So it's not a point where they just give you advisory, but it's more of a hand-holding process. Just looking at, this is your product, what can we work on, and they work with you until it is better improved than how you join the program. So we have market and sales, which we call distribution, and also we have talent management. And also, other than that, we have a strong community. Tabitha talked about our teachers launch. So we have access, all these startups will have access to community of practice to test out your products. So if your product is geared to teachers, we'll be able to test out with teachers. If it's geared to schools, to students, we will be able to help you test out your product through our strong community that we work with, and also our internal team who are solely dedicated to distribution efforts for the EdTech products. Then we have expert advisory, which is around coaching and mentorship by other successful founders who have made it and who have been in part of our cohort 1 and who have also propelled in the market. And then you'll be able to have access to expanded network by virtue of the founders who will be in the program and also the founders that you will actually interact with during the program. And then you will also have access to investors. So as iHub, we have our own growth capital and our syndicates. So we are able to invest in startups, and also we are able to pull a couple of angel investors to invest in some of the startups at iHub. So in terms of the eligibility criteria, what kind of EdTech startups are we looking at? So the EdTech startup should have verifiable users and aligned to our accelerator goals. So as I'd mentioned, we're looking at education access, student learning, school management, teacher and trainee effectiveness. And also what we're really keen on for this program is, does your product actually address our problems in Kenya? So is it primarily focused in Kenya? Is it primarily focused in Eldoret? So we're just looking at our local solutions within Kenya. And then we are looking at companies that are generating revenue. However, we are also looking at startups that might not be generating revenue at the moment, but they have high impact. So we're looking at how can we support this kind of startup. So do not be discouraged if you might not be generating revenue, because we want to see ideally what is the impact that you're actually creating within your community. Then you need to have a physical presence in Kenya. We've seen a lot of international companies that come to Kenya, but as I mentioned, we're looking for EdTech companies in Kenya, for Kenya, and made by Kenyans. So that's what we're looking at, and having presence in Kenya. And also we are looking at post MVP, you would already have moved beyond the minimum viable product. So those are just some of the things that we are looking in terms of eligibility. And after this, I know we'll share the link for the application, but I'll just like to walk you through what would set you apart from the other applications. So we have ideally the application form has 6 parts. So we're looking at the company information, your product description, user and market, your solution, your financials, and your team. So for the company information, we want you to clearly indicate that it's incorporated in Kenya. We want you to clearly say your team size and your revenue, because part of the processes is we'll be able to do due diligence. So just be honest with the revenue that you are making at the moment, and we'll be able to work with you. Then in terms of the product, we really want you to really articulate what is your product like and how is it valuable to your users. It could be teachers, it could be learners, but you really need to clearly articulate. So that's the problem that you're solving and also the solution that you're bringing to the table. So it really needs to be very, very clear, so that when we're reading from this end, we're not wondering, did they mean this or that? And then we are looking at the user and market. So who are your users? You need to really communicate. Are you targeting K-12 students? Are you targeting farmers? Are you targeting teachers? How does that look like? And then your solution, as I mentioned, what is the solution? And in the application, we actually are requiring you to give us your product demo to see how does it work, for us to see it from our perspective. Sometimes, and why we included this part is we realize some people might not be clear in saying what they are doing. But then when we see the product demo, we are like, oh my goodness, this is so fantastic, you know. So it's just maybe articulating ideally what you're doing and the impact that you're creating. So this is your demo, which is accessible to the public for us to see what you are actually creating. Then in terms of the financials, put them in KES so that it helps you with not really I'm looking for the right word. But you don't have to go through the USD and the conversion rate. I know now with Kenya, the dollar rate is at 160 today. Tomorrow is at 165. So just use Kenya shillings so that it's very easy for us to understand from that perspective. Then in terms of the team, highlight the teams that you're working with. So you might not be working with a very big team. I know most startups really start with a lean team. So do not be ashamed. Just say, this is what we are doing, and maybe I'm getting these services from William. I'm getting them from Magdalene. So it's more of consultancy, because we understand when startups start, they might not be able to afford to pay salaries because they are mostly bootstrapping. So it would be really great for you to just highlight that. And then people are usually asking, so what is our selection process like? So we have the first stage, which is the screening, and we're able to look at the questions that I've been able to go through. So what problem are you solving? And we want to see your founder's potential, and also to see your business model and also your traction. Then the second bit of it, we'll be able to assess your scalability, your long-term vision, your competitive advantage, and your team potential. Then finally, once we've gone through all these stages, we'll be able to call you for an interview and just get to actually understand you as a founder. So to just get to know what you're doing, what is your passion, what drives you, and what actually drove you to start the EdTech Fellowship Program. So our applications are currently open, and we are closing in the February 16th. That's 2.5 weeks from now. So if you're an EdTech startup looking to join the MasterCard Foundation EdTech Fellowship Program, please do so. And one of the key things that we're doing, we are having office hours on a daily. So once I go through the slides, I'll be able to share the QR code, and also you'll be able to look through the future of learning at ihub.co.ke, where you'll get all the information about the EdTech Fellowship Program, and you'll be able to see a button where you can book a one-on-one office hour session. So if you have questions around, would my business actually work? This is the kind of business that I have. How should I go about it? So those are the things that we want to have a conversation with you and just guide you through the process. Okay, so I feel like most of some of the questions that we have received. So this is our FAQ. Some of the frequent asked questions. I almost said answered. Asked questions that we've received from most of the people, but I know I've gone through some of them, but we'll just run through. As I've mentioned, we're looking at all the EdTech startups that are solving different challenges within Africa and Kenya. And the entry requirements, we've already gone through that, but what we really are and we are preaching and we are shouting about it, we really want female EdTech companies to join this program. I am not against men. Women, where are you? Where are you? So we're really looking forward to that. So fun fact to the women. So we had actually one EdTech company in our last cohort that had a female founder. The rest were inclusive teams. So maybe our co-founder is male and female. But what we really want to achieve in this cohort is just to get 50-50, and also to empower the women that are actually creating amazing solutions amongst us. So if you know a woman who is creating amazing EdTech solutions, please ask them to apply. And also for the men, we still want you to apply. All right. So how can you apply? So this is the website I was talking about, the future of learning.ihub.co.ke. But at the end of the program, we'll have a QR code. If you scan it, it will redirect you straight to the website. And some of you have been asking, when does the program start and how long does it run? So we are looking to start April, May 2024. We'll have it running for 6 months during the program and 12 months during post-acceleration. So that is 18 months. And this is not the typical most accelerators that we've been part of, where you go, you sit a class, you know. So how we are looking at these startups, it's at a very individual perspective. So for example, if one startup joins the program, you will not be in the same class. You will never be in the same session. So we are taking advisory sessions. We are working with expert advisors. So in that session, it's you, your founders, and we are able to help you navigate your specific issues, whether it's product, market access. So that's the kind of support that we're looking at. And on average, founders, given that there are many teams, there's the finance team, investment team, there's learning science team, there's talent distribution, you're actually able to book slots. So we give you calendar, then you calendar invites, calendar options, where you'll be able to say, okay, these are the timings that work for me. So the main goal is not for you to come out of your business, but it's to work with your schedule. So that is one of the key things that we are doing in supporting the startup. So ideally, you'd be required 3 to 5 hours weekly, depending on what are the key areas that you need support on. Then what stage of startups are we looking for? So we're looking at from early stage till growth stage. So and this I mentioned earlier, we're looking at post MVP. So these are some of the startups that we're looking for. And then next slide, please. What are the benefits for the program? This one I went through the slides, so I'll not go over that. And then what happens in the program? Magdalene mentioned they have key areas of support. William mentioned that as iHub, as a whole community, we have key focus areas, but also in our program implementation, we have 4 key areas that we support startups with. So that's product, and also talent, distribution, and funding. So those are the 4 main key pillars that we support startups even as they go through our program. The selection process, I think that one I went through. Then when the process closes, I mentioned it's February 16th. Then do I have to be based in Kenya? I mentioned that it's very important for you to be incorporated in Kenya, because we're looking at solutions that are actually enhancing learning outcomes in Kenya first. We're not limiting you to not grow beyond Kenya, because we had a couple of startups in our cohort 1. Their primary base is in Kenya, but they've already scaled to the different countries based on the support that they've received through this program. And also, do I need to have a registered company? We really recommend you to do the registration of the company as you're applying. What's the recommended team size? We're not specific on you should be 4, 10, but we are looking to have at least 3 people. But again, if you're a solo founder, please go ahead and apply. We're not looking at the team size, but it's more on the product. And then, do you need to know somebody from iHub or Eldohub? No. You don't. So you just need to apply. What Magdalene will do will just refer the EdTech companies within Eldohub and within Eldoret. So that's what she'll be able to do, and we'll be able to follow up with them and actually help them to apply with the application process and also sign in for the office hours. So that's the best Magdalene can do. So don't ask Magdalene, usimtafute nyuma ya tent. She can only refer you, which is fantastic. So I'm interested in EdTech, but I'm still developing my solution. How can I get support from the program? So we are actually really happy when we hear this, we hear this kind of questions. Like, they're actually people who are actually developing. So at iHub, William mentioned that we have a couple of events, And one of the key things that we help in those events is to help these startups that are in ideation stage. How are we helping them to, to make their ideas come to fruition? So you might be thinking, I'm in Eldoret. So you're talking about our community events in Nairobi. So good news is we actually have online community engagements. So even if you're not able to be there physically, you can be able to attend our events, and you can be able to subscribe to our events through the iHub website. You'll be able to see a subscribe button for our events. So we have in-person and virtual events, and all of you are invited. And then if any of you has ever participated in a program at iHub, you can still apply for this program. So that is not a limiting factor. So I know we've covered most of the questions in the intro for the info session, but when you scan the QR code, it will be able to redirect you to the futureoflearning.ihub.co.ke. And once you're in there, you'll be able to book an office hour session. I know the event might run over or you might want to leave earlier, but if you're on that platform, if you're able to book even now, you'll be able to schedule a meeting with our team members so that they can better understand the support that we can give you. So that's just an overview of the MasterCard Foundation EdTech Fellowship Program. And I'm really looking forward, Magdalene and Mweshimiwa, to get EdTech startups from Eldoret in the MasterCard Foundation EdTech Fellowship Program. So cohort 2, I'm just looking forward to get those applications so that we can see also how can we improve the learning outcomes in Eldoret. So that's it for the inspo sessions, but I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. Any burning questions?
A round of applause first to Ngali. That's not enough. Tunaenda ile ya funga, fungua. Moja, mbili, tatu, funga, fungua. Though hatujui tunafungua lini. Now, I wanted to find out.
Yes.
The idea of chat GTP. Why don't chat GTP, GPT, hiyo.
Huyo hajatumia, ametumia mwalimu.
Bado kuzaliwa. Why can't you come up with the same kind of program, and then in the section of Q&A or FDNs, not FDNs, it's FAQs, frequently asked questions, you just install such a program so that you don't necessarily have to reply to someone. You just put it in, it answers somebody on their own. I mean,
You see, you can be an innovator.
Answers, yes.
This is an innovator in the making.
The answers you've given us, you just put it there. You don't have to know someone from iHub. You don't have to know someone from Eldohub.
Yes.
Unaweka tu hapo.
Inasema no.
Mtu anauliza, do I have to know anybody? Inasema no.
No.
Simple.
You guys, this person should apply for the other cohort, right?
No,
this is an innovator.
I have a bald head. Now, questions. I'll take 3 questions because of time. Critical questions. Thank you. Welcome.
All right. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Enoch Wanyama, and I'm the PR manager for social entrepreneurship initiative called Project Digital, which deals with digital literacy for kids in rural areas. So my question, I have 3 questions. I'm sorry. Yeah, I have 3 questions. My first question is just to clear beyond reasonable doubt. Do you, by any chance, fund social entrepreneurship? Because, you know, they are non-profitable. Yeah, and then the other question is, how do you achieve, like our biggest challenge as social entrepreneurship is, how do you achieve sustainability? Because more often than not, we need to depend on donors for us to facilitate our future programs. So how do you achieve that? And then finally, how do you measure, you mentioned something about measuring your impact. So critically break it down, how do you measure impact of your project? Thank you.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So I'll answer one at a time. I hope I remember all the questions. So fun fact, I also used to work in a social enterprise. So I totally understand also where you're coming from. And let me start with the second question. So you're asking around, how do you make sure that it's sustainable and to make sure that this thing continues and you're not relying on donor funding. So I know most actually of some of the startups that we are working with, and also some of these startups that we interact with. Some of them might not be a social enterprise. They're a startup, but you can see they're really depending on donor funding. And one of the key things that we're really helping them when they come to the program is to help them build a solid business model. How would that look like in terms of revenue generation? So probably at iHub, and I know Eldohub might have some of these things, what we normally do is to work closely with you and to just look at what are some of the areas that you could actually generate revenue, or what would work within your context. And we have a couple of programs. So it's just not maybe the EdTech Fellowship program, but we have a couple of programs, and we're really keen on social enterprise. So iHub, all our programs are actually social impact. So it's around, maybe we're doing something about healthcare, but how is it accessible to maybe the low-income population, and also education. So all our programs are around that, and you can always be on the lookout and see what would work. So it can be a program. We also have workshops and also events, and helping these companies to see how can we scale, how can we not rely on donor funding going forward. So that is those are some of the things that we support the founders with. So Tabitha is going to help me to remind me the questions. I'm usually very bad at memory. So watu wa shule wale memory cramming was hard.
Okay. Since I gave 5 questions, so I still have 2.
No, I can answer some of his questions.
Okay. What was the last one was? How do you measure impact?
Thank you for that. So how we measure impact in the program is, so internally we have our M&E. And even without working with the M&E, when we start the program, we look at when these EdTech startups come into the program, what number of learners maybe do they have in the platform? Maybe what is their reach, and looking at the different metrics within their product. So we are really keen to see how are they improving month on month, and looking in a broader perspective, in the next 3 years, where will they be? So that is something that we are really keen on. So we have our internal M&E team that works with the startups to just have metrics that they work together with the startup to see what are the key metrics that we measure as iHub, and what are some of the metrics that might be important from this startup to the other startup. So that is something that we do on month, and we are looking to do in the next 3 months with the different startups. But aside from that, for your own organization, it can be like looking at maybe the number of reach, or maybe the women that you're impacting within the community. So looking at what is very specific to you. I know he's mentioned something around ChatGPT. Have you used it before? Yes. So just looking at, given the nature of your business, what would be the key metrics? And even when you're applying for programs, those are some of the things that you really need to highlight. Because as I'd mentioned earlier, we're looking for impact. So for impact for us is the metrics that you're talking about. Thank you. I hope I've answered everything. What was the first question? I have yes, we do support. Yeah, and we can always have a conversation even after the session. All right, thank you.
Next question. Okay. Please pass it.
I just want to hitchhike on his question, because I also I work for a social enterprise, and I know you mentioned that they must be local. We are local, but we have an office offshore. And to be honest, we don't want to depend on them for long. So I just wanted to know, do you have a criteria that if you're out, you're beyond borders, now you're in another category, you're kicking us out, and so you just have to have a local presence only.
So just to get your question, so the company is not registered in Kenya?
No, it is.
It is registered in Kenya?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think ideally you're eligible to apply because you're based in Kenya, and are you solving the education challenges maybe in Kenya?
Yeah, but we depend so much on donors. So I just wanted to know if you have an offshore, or an office outside Kenya. Are you out? Are you kicking us out?
No, so you're not out.
Okay.
So one of the key things I think I mentioned was also around impact. So just highlighting what is the kind of impact that you are creating within Kenya. So we'll look more on that, your presence and also the impact that you're creating within Kenya. Yeah. So please go ahead and apply. We're looking for women founders.
Thank you. Any other question? The final one. I think I'll take two.
Thank you. My name is Susan Hasoa. I'm the founder of Project Digital Impact. In your presentation, you are mostly mentioning products and products. What about services, right? Like, for example, our aim is, of course, we teach digital literacy, but we also aim at imparting skills that can also generate digital products. For example, the kids that we teach, if they can get into graphic design and design a digital product and put it in a platform and earn from it, that's a skill. So is there a support for a service, or it's just product? Yeah.
All right, that's a good question. And also I'll ask Tabitha, because I know that's part of her department to weigh in. But maybe a follow-up question onto your question would be, so when you're providing the skills, which elements of tech are you using for your service? I think maybe that would be something that we're really looking at. So you might have a service, but in your story or in the storytelling or the problem and statement during the application is just highlighting how is your service, how are you incorporating tech in your service, and also your storytelling bit of it. As I mentioned earlier, we had amazing startups who applied last year, but the storytelling bit was like, we're not really understanding what they really want. But when we see the product demo, we're like, oh my goodness, or actually see some of the videos in terms of the work that they've done, we're like, this is actually very nice. So I think for you, I would really advocate for you in the storytelling bit to just highlight how are you incorporating technology in the work that you're doing. And also in the demo video, for you it might not be a demo, but also share with us the video of the work that you do. Then that will give us an idea of what you're actually doing within Eldoret. All right, great. But happy to have an in-depth conversation with you. Great. All right, I know we had another question.
Thank you. There's one last question.
Yeah. So thank you. Can I just use Kiswahili?
Yes.
So mi naitwa Shikuku Emmanuel. I'm a student at the University of Eldoret, and I'm also a student at Eldohub. Yeah, a former student, but an alumni, that is. So, this is a question. I've developed this program. The government wants to kill me. So, I developed my program, and I've already deployed it, and I want to apply for the MasterCard Foundation program. But now I'm a student. From where I come from, forgive me, penye natoka, mzee akisikia nimeacha shule ati juu niko na biashara, he'll kill me. Now, how does this program work for students? like me, and for also people that have businesses or they are more keen on, they are focused on on developing their product, and do not have much time for that. Thank you.
All right, thank you. First of all, hatutaki uache shule. Disclaimer, hatutaki uache shule. And how this program is designed is for even the founders and people who are in business. We don't want them to come to stop everything and come to the program. We really want you to still continue the work that you're doing. So I know you might have classes, and one of the key things that we usually have, we send links to founders. So you choose the time that works for you for a session. So we're not forcing you to join a session at 2, so we don't want it to clash with your schedule. So if maybe your classes end at 2, or you have a lunch break between 1 and 2, and just say, you know what, for these 6 months, for my business to grow, during my lunch hour, I will be taking my sessions or expert advisory sessions. So I think that would actually still work. And mzae atafurahi at the end of everything. Umwambie, you see, here I've come with my first class honors, and while I was in school, during my lunch hour and during weekends, this is what I was doing. So I really think you would still qualify. It's just working with your schedule. So we're not looking at, oh, they're a student. And if anything, MasterCard Foundation is very keen on working with youth. So that would actually be a very interesting story to see how are students innovating and also being part of this kind of fellowship programs. So I'd really encourage you to apply. Yes.
Thank you, Ngali. A round of applause for Ngali. 1, 2, 3, funga, fungua. Let me take this opportunity to recognize visitors who have joined us from RVTTI. Please raise up your hand. We'll be able to introduce you, and MU Technologies. Please raise up your hand. Makofi kwao jameni. Now, before we go to the presentation from Kimani, we want to now dissect a topic. And in this topic, we are going to have a panel, and they are here with us. A CEO, Alice from Acacia Schools, and there is Jane from Acacia Schools, sorry. And we have a representative of one of the professors. You will take the seat. So the theme is promoting. Kindly someone tell me. We can't be giving you the information. We need to hear from you as well. What is the theme for the day? Yes? Education and technology. What was the theme? Aya, tutambiana. So I would like to request Felix to take the first seat. Jen, please take the next one. And there's a representative from one of the professors. Please take this one. Take the seat on this other end. There's someone else who's supposed to be here. Yes, let me check. The representative of Professor Karimi Kiriamiti is representing him. The representative of Professor Masibo Lumala. So I will ask to co-opt one person who happens to have joined us. I don't know his name, but he will introduce yourself. Please, gentlemen, take the seat. The heat will be on your end. Don't worry, I know you are prepared. Now, allow me to sit here. Let's change the orientation of the seat. Or I can, no, it's okay, I can take this one. Please have the mic. Yes, another microphone, please share with me. Yes, please. Please put it on and give it out here. So prepare your questions, just limited questions, only 5. So the theme for today was promoting education through innovation and technology. And therefore, joining us are our panelists. They will be able to introduce themselves, and I will guide them through this discussion. And the topic of this discussion is industry experts discuss challenges and opportunities in EdTech, education technology. And I want to just pose a question. We have technology, education, and innovation. And we have technology, education. Which is which? What is what? And for your own consumption, just besides the tech industry, because it also affects you, in the compass, when you have a compass, the compass always points to the north. But from physics, we say like poles repel each other. How is it possible that the northern side of a compass faces the north? How? So it means there is a south of the North Pole. So please process that one. Thank you. Please, we'll start with Jen. Introduce yourself, what you do, and please give an opening remarks on what we are discussing today.
So my name is Jen Wafula. I'm an educationist. I'm a teacher, but currently I run a business. I taught for some time, and then I got an inspiration to start a school. So I run a school called Acacia School. It is purely kindergarten. We focus on setting a strong foundation for future leaders and change makers. So our target group is children aged 2 to 6 years old. We are located in Elgonview, just near Testimony School. And I'm really excited to be here. Asante sana.
I think this other one doesn't work as well. Yeah, so good evening. Yeah, so my name is Felix Kimaru. I'm the chief officer for ICT. I almost said I'm the founder of Eldohub. Yeah, so currently I'm the chief officer for ICT, e-government and innovation, the county government of Uasin Gishu. I work for His Excellency Jonathan B. Yeah, so that's what I do, and I think you will allow me to just mention one thing about this session. We decided to start this session to also build the ecosystem here in Uasin Gishu County. So we are really excited. We are happy. We see the partners have come here. So we want to encourage you. We will be running these talks every month on different themes. We had one in December on digital transformation in public and private sector. We have this one here. We will decide what comes next and share the schedule. So asanteni sana kwa kukuja. I'm also a startup founder. My startup is called Total Health, and some of you probably might know it. Started out of HiHub. We have over 365 works in health. We have over 365,000 mothers registered to the platform. Works here in Kenya, works in Tanzania. I'm also the founder of a company called BitTrack Global that does tracking for border borders. Yeah, so that is briefly about me, myself, entrepreneurship, but right now working for public sector. Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you so much. My name is Nicholas Kendagor. I'm a trainer, but I also am an engineer in profession. I'm happy to join you today. Also, I would like to share what I have and also to learn at the same time. I'm also I have a business. I install CCTV cameras, and I also do software development.
Thank you very much. Welcome to this discussion. Now, before we start off, I know we need to demystify. We have innovation, we have technology, and we have education. But again, we have something called education technology. And when you go to the universities, they offer a course called education technology, which when you dig deeper into it, you realize it is part of engineering. And at least it's good that we have an engineer here. So what do you understand? What do people need to understand between technology, education, innovation? Because now we have technology and we have innovation. This innovation is in technology. This technology is part of education. But it's still separate, yet it's still the same thing. Why? What's happening? What is the line? Where's the line between these three things? Or it's just one and the same thing?
Yeah, thank you. Each and every day is a learning day. And technology is always evolving. So because each and every day is a learning day, and each and every time, there comes new things. Therefore, we must learn. And how do you learn? You learn through education. So they blend each other. Education and technology, they blend each other.
There's innovation.
So for example,
yes,
for you to have a good technology, you must have a program. And programs change. For example, in engineering, you have something called PLCs. And for you to have a good PLC, it has to have a program. There's a program for timing, there's a program for counting, there's a program for various aspects. So you must learn how to program. So that's why education goes hand in hand with technology. Yes.
Okay, we can hear from the CEO.
So I think majority of my answers, you will allow me, will be more inclined to government and public service. Yeah, so innovation, and let me start with innovation by itself. Innovation basically, and the way we understand it, is something that shortens the process of doing things, right? Or makes it easy, or increases access. Like for example, do you know that the most innovative thing in this world ni ile tie wrap? Unaona ile tie wrap ya kufunga vitu. Like when you have something that is broken kama gari unafunga nayo. That is the most innovative thing in the world. A simple thing as a plastic like that. So when we come to education, and I'm also here to also represent our CEO, our Chief Officer for Education as well, who has sent me as well. When we talk about education, traditionally, and we had 844 system, we have now the CBC. And we can actually say in some way, the CBC is an innovation to move out from the 844 system. 844 was very traditional in the way it does things. We know as of right now, you go to school, you will finish your university, they will tell you don't have the skills for you to be employable. We need something else in the middle here to make you employable. And that is where things like technology are coming in. So what we are saying here is beyond the book, beyond the way you've been doing, can technology, that the new technologies that are coming, can it enable you to be more prepared for what the industry wants? And I think that is what we talk about technology and innovation. Yeah, so I really believe that is what we need, and we're actually supporting that as a county as well. I know the biggest problem is infrastructure. When we talk about accessing digital platforms, you will talk about, do you have a device in the first place? And that is why the government was talking about giving out laptops and stuff like those ones. Do you have internet in the first place? The national government is laying out 100,000 kilometers of fiber. You know why that is happening. It's because they want you to be able to access the internet because internet is where the resources are in majority of these individuals. Then as for us as the county, we've already laid out 6,000 kilometers of fiber to different places. We will soon have our public Wi-Fi in town. You can be able to access whatever content, and it will enable you as entrepreneurs. Yeah. So that's my take.
Jen, what do you think? I can have this one.
I think to me, I'll bring in the issue of innovation. Innovation is coming up with solutions to the problems that we have. So, and when we are doing education, we are teaching children or people's lifestyle. So as they continue learning, we need to incorporate technology. Technology is an enabler or a tool that makes the learning easier and gives them an edge. And now innovation is now the aspect of, even in this education, as we are looking at the different challenges in our community, how do we come up with unique solutions that set us apart? I think to me that would be.
So in other words, we are saying all the three are integrated. And the only thin line between them is the same thing. It's one and the same thing because you cannot separate the two. But now that one poses the three, for instance. But now that one poses the question. In our own country, we have now moved from 844 system to the other hybrid system, the JSS, the new program, education program. And we still have challenges across the board. So how can we use technology to create that balance between the traditional teaching methods, which is still being used, with these technologies to create an all-rounded person so that we can have a level playing ground between those people who are unable to access the quality of that education, does not allow them or does not provide for this technology and innovation, or the platform for this technology and education. How do we strike a balance in education in the same?
So, like currently what we are doing, I can use an example of my school. We have incorporated ICT lessons in the timetable. So it's part of the timetable and it's actually in the curriculum. We are required in the CBC curriculum to make sure the students have sessions where they learn about the computer, and also the teachers are supposed to incorporate their teaching using technology. Like maybe they're doing something in environmental. They're learning about a river or let's say wild animals. We might not have a wild animal in the class, but through using maybe the videos and the pictures, the children are able to get to know, to see this is a wild animal. So the learning becomes more real, kind of more real. Before now we take them maybe for field trips. At least they're able to see real pictures, real videos. And then also, when it comes to the teachers, when they're preparing materials, now they use technology, it becomes easier and faster. And like the other times when they had to write everything, you see that when they just type, they can reuse the same materials over and over again. But we cannot say that we just use technology and get the teachers out. For the basic education, something like handwriting. If I look in this room, I was just amused. Everybody else has a phone, but people have notebooks and pens. That means the actual, face-to-face teaching of a teacher is still very important. To teach the children how to write and also how to read, even for them to be able to use the technology more effectively. Yeah.
Thank you. See you. What do you have to say? How do we create a balance to create a well-rounded person, especially by applying both the tech and traditional methods of teaching in education?
Yeah, so technology in education covers different things. But I think what I wanted, on top of what she's mentioned, what I wanted to talk about is basically what majority of startups have been trying to do. So we see guys taking classrooms, and when COVID was there, basically teachers were delivering content online. Students were able to attend classes at the comfort of their homes. And traditionally, our parents used to see these gadgets as a nuisance. They used to tell us, throw away, I don't want to see you with a phone and stuff like those ones. But nowadays, you realize that by your child using mobile phone, they become even brighter than before. So it means there is a lot of content, there are a lot of resources that are there that these kids can be able to access. What the government, I think, have been trying to do, there is a program by the national government, and they're trying to introduce coding to schools. And I say that because it's not just about coding. Technology is not just about coding. There are so many other things. So government was trying to introduce coding, and the reason why they're trying to introduce coding at that very early stage is because when you try to code, for those who are programmers, it helps you to be a problem solver. It helps with critical thinking and stuff like those ones. There's a pilot already with 100 schools. I'm yet to check in Wasingishu which schools particularly they are. So that has been ongoing. It's being actually piloted with 100 schools. There's actually, and I think you have holiday coding, I don't know what you call them. Yes, and students and kids come, they play around, they try to code, and there's a different way they code from the way we usually code. There's also robotics that have been introduced in schools. And the reason why some of these things are interesting is because even the kids themselves get excited about going to school. They know it's not just going to be about books from morning to evening. So it introduces aspects of it being interesting and stuff like that. So I think that is what I wanted to add on to what she has mentioned here.
Okay. Our other panelists, please tell us.
Yeah, thank you. The government is trying to ensure that all departments digitize all their programs and everything. The same goes to the technical part where I train. We are supposed to digitize our contents, what we are teaching our students, so that even we can be able to reach other students. We can increase the capacity of the students who can be able to learn online. Because of the CBET, where we have portfolio of evidence. So you find that if you are storing this evidence in terms of an office or a place where you can store physically, you cannot even store because they will be a huge room space to cover. So to minimize this, through CBET, we introduce what we call e-portfolio, on which the student will scan the documents or the assessment he has. He puts it on the module of the school, so that if there is an assessor who's coming to verify what the student has done, he can be able to just go to the system and can be able to see what the student has scored. So that is technology in education.
Well, now, back to the CEO. Maybe you can be able to start us off with this question. We have ethical considerations and emerging trends and challenges in technology and education. And today, there was a discussion in this room about ChatGPT, right? There are new emerging technologies where we're able to get education from using technology. And there's also a new feature where you can have a book, you scan the book, you upload into the application, then it converts text to speech. You just put your earphone, you sit somewhere, it reads out the whole book for you. We have also seen where you use a pen, you write on a screen. It converts your poor handwriting into a very nice script, right? These are technological advances. And we may not be so certain about the future of these technological advances, but we know it is making a positive contribution. But there are ethical issues. If we talk about these applications, our children are no longer doing exams because they have answers. Our children go to school, their assignments, once they are home, they sit for 2 minutes, they are done with answering 100 questions. Because you just place your question in the application, it gives you the answer, you copy the answer, you humanize the answer using another application. It becomes, you are able to rate. Because I'm also aware that you can pick, you humanize that content, and you downgrade the content to a beginner. I mean, there's a level for expert, there's a level for professional, there's a level for beginner, there is a level for nobody. I mean, what this ethical consideration, what is your view with this emergent technology? What are these ethical considerations? How would you check this ethical consideration? Because they have access. It's open to everybody to use.
Yeah, so I don't know, maybe just to add to another one. Someone the other day was asking me, have you ever written a book? And I told him, by tomorrow I'll have a book. So I can generate with ChatGPT a whole book, and everything is not plagiarized. Plagiarized. Yes. So yeah. So I don't know. That's a very difficult question because in some universities, you've seen them. They ban ChatGPT. We've seen those ones. So the question is, and there are some who allow ChatGPT. Most exam rooms in Kenya, they don't allow you to carry gadgets. So we still have a bit of control around those ones. But when you talk about people doing their homeworks and stuff, then it becomes a problem. But I think, and me and Barkutu are there, they are big. You can raise your hand. We are big on AI and machine learning and stuff. And we always ask ourselves, when we talk about ethical, is it really unethical? Or are we clinging into the past?
I mean, if you are getting an answer where you are supposed to apply critical thinking, you're doing a shortcut.
Maybe this is the new way of doing things. Yeah, this could be the new way of doing things. We don't know. We're probably too traditional still. Yeah, so I don't know yet. I know that will be a very controversial thing to speak within the education space, but I still believe that in future, maybe the direction to go is what we have right now. You see, for example, majority of us are programmers here. Someone hires you to build a website, but you know, using AI, you can cut shortcuts. Tomorrow morning, you have your website. So does it mean you don't know?
That's the question. That's basically the question. That's the fundamental question here.
Yeah, so probably this is the new way of doing things. They actually say you can actually take screenshot with black box AI. You can I can take a picture of that, and it will generate for me automatically whatever an app. If you can take a picture of an app, of someone's app, and it gives you the entire code for it. So probably this is the future. We are living in the future.
Okay.
That's my take.
Jen, I mean, are we not raising people who will end up being lazy?
Actually,
I mean, what's happening?
For me, I'm really, really concerned, and it's a big challenge because, practical example, the children we receive. Already, this child comes, he's so much used to digital content. And some of this content, they're not been verified, they're not been approved for the child, and the child has already consumed. So can you imagine that young mind, how it is going to develop? Because the first 7 years of a child is where the personality and everything is the brain is growing. So that content is already put in there. So I think to me it is, technology again is really bringing in the unethical part of course, being lazy, where now we just get solution very easily, but we are also losing the social aspect. You see, most of the time when people are together, kila mtu ameinamisha kichwa. A simple skill like if somebody is talking to you, look eye contact. It is now something we have to teach our children because mostly their heads are like this. You have to really. So technology also is really derailing us. We are losing some skills, communication skills. I was in a forum dealing with high schoolers, and I was telling them, if you have a boyfriend, and the boyfriend, all he does is, he tells you he loves you through, the phone. And if he told you face to face, which one is better? Of course, he's saying face to face, because you will even see the emotions, be able to understand. But one girl said, but even when we send the message, we can send an emoji about the feeling I'm having.
Very true.
So I think we are losing the human side. I don't think technology can really, fill the gap of the emotions, which we need to grow the children to understand. We are social beings. We need to connect. We need to communicate. So we are losing it in that end.
Engineer, why would you need students in class yet they can just generate the book, generate the content, do the job using technology? Why would you need them physically in class?
So it's a key challenge because it kills creativity. It kills creativity in the fact that somebody cannot reason, because you'll just go directly to the ChatGPT. It generates everything, and it'll just send you that information, and therefore you cannot verify whether it's genuine or from the GPT. So it's a challenge that we are truly facing now, and I don't know how we're going to. Maybe
Fine. I think the CEO said, yeah, it's the new norm. It's the new norm.
Yeah.
Fine. Now, yes, Jen.
Want it to make us now to be robots? At the end of the day, we'll just be existing as robots.
The way CEO said that maybe we were meant to be robots at the end of the day. So probably could be, because if now you're able to do all the things on your phone, then why would you need to go there and spend the energy? But now a research done, and it's a recommendation for those doing masters or PhD. A research should be done on the impact of. This is a proposal maybe from my end, and those who have the same thinking like mine. What is the impact of this work easier? You are unable to think. You are unable to just wake up from your bed. You can do everything from the touch of a button on your phone. How long would you live compared to those who go out and do the job themselves? I mean, it must have an impact on the life expectancy of people. So I think it's a research that would take you 50 or 60 years before people die, of course.
Maybe moderator, maybe one thing just to add on, and I was just thinking, probably the way we do our exams is still traditional. We probably need.
Okay, fine. Now, the last question that I want us to have a discussion on is as policymakers, because I have understood that we have understood that you're in government, you're also an entrepreneur in the same field of technology. How would the government collaborate with innovators, startups who are here today? How will this collaboration be done? We have policymakers in education, we have stakeholders in education, we have tech startups, we have people, we have ventures into technology, we have established businesses in technology, we have service providers all across, even internet, because if you are providing content on a platform, it means you need another service provider for internet. There's that service provider who's a key stakeholder in now this technology.
What the government is doing. For example, in the universities and the technical institutions, 2% of our budget goes directly to the innovation, research and innovation, and in which we help the students who have ideas to be able to develop them. As well, we help to protect the innovation, the ideas that the students have. So much what the government is really doing, maybe we have to bring up the new technologies that it is coming, and we ensure that we put it in our programs and we put it in the policies that we have in our institutions. For example, we have two policies in our case. We have the research policy and also the innovation policy.
Thank you. See you.
So I think very quickly I think policy mostly is on the government side. So there's a lot that the current government is already doing. And I think our president realized that by use of technology, a lot of things will improve. For example, number one, we will eliminate corruption. And that's why we're moving majority of our services online. So there's this digital superhighway, the fiber optic that is being laid out. And for your information, it actually passes through here. It's already at turbo as we speak right now. So the fiber is an infrastructure. So you have the road as an infrastructure as well, where cars use. And for a long time, the contractors ngasikia fiber cuts. And the contractors won't even care that wamevuruta fiber ya mtu katika. So I think our president is the one who said, it's also a superhighway. So it's illegal for you to damage these lines. So we need to have those ones in place as well. And we are pushing counties. Our county right now is also big on that we've already laid out fiber. Kesho ukienda ukata, we invested a lot of money, then we should also charge you, because that is vandalism. So things like those ones. So on the policy side, I think a lot, they already an enabling environment for even startups themselves. Our president is big on you raising funding from external investors. He's also #1 hustler, kwenda huko nje kwenda ku raise funds. And for your information, for my startups, I pitched a lot. And in many of those pitch competitions, I lost. But with it came a lot of money as well. So go out there, and when we were actually raising money ourselves, the idea was get a Mzungu co-founder, because Wazungus, they raise, they bring money. And that's the reason I think you have an overseas account, for them to feel like you're part of them, yet you're still African. So a lot of that, I think there's already an enabling environment. You have the Eldohub here. We didn't have Eldohub. We didn't have anything in Eldoret. Everything was iHub. It was iHub, iHub, iHub. Right now, there are so many innovation hubs, not just in Kenya, but all over. Yeah, so you can be part of any. And I think it's free for you to come here. Na niko sure county atakuja kukusumbua pia. Magdalene. So we have that enabling environment. I think for you startups as well, we will have policies that if you're still a small startup, and we are trying to map you out by there as a county, so that we promote you. Come on a business license. These guys are asking you for legal documents. You can use ours, which is way cheaper than going the other route. So there are a lot of policies around here. And I think what I wanted to just encourage you guys, let's be part of this space, be part of the conversations that are going on. A lot of opportunities comes to this. Through events like this is where you meet an extra person that will introduce you to someone else. Yeah.
Thank you, CEO. Let's have Jen, and then we'll do a parting shot. I don't think you've given us a very good one.
Okay, when it comes to collaboration, I think it brings in the issue where all these three, the educators, the policymakers, and the tech developers, need to find a space where they network, so that the developers are able to understand what are the needs in the education. The policymakers are also able to understand what are the techs able to do and what are the educators need. So there needs to be forums for networking and roundtable discussion. What do we really need? Doing a needs assessment, and then coming up now with policy and solutions that are really relevant to our education. Yeah.
Thank you, Jen. Now, assuming today we wanted to clap, because you said technology makes work easier. We would create a WhatsApp group, then we clap in the WhatsApp group, right? So we can also, we are going to clap for our panelists. Follow us on social media, Eldohub. Make sure you clap in the comment section. Please do that, because we are now making use of education. We don't want a sound here. We want a sound on our Facebook. So thank you very much, our panelists. We appreciate your time. We've learned from you. We will look into the issues you've raised, and I think the CEO has said maybe it's a new way of thinking. So hopefully, we don't know, you're scared of it. Hopefully, we will do this. So please take back your seats. We appreciate the time that you've been able to give us. Now, we said we are clapping on WhatsApp and on Facebook. Now, before I welcome our next speaker, I want us to stand. Something I want to show you. Tusimame. And don't worry, we have something to bite before you go home. So tunasema 1, unaweka plus hivi. 1 equals to, tunafanya aje? Equals to 2, okay? Let's go. 1 plus 1 equals to 2. Now we go 2 plus 2, so it is 2 plus 2. How will 4 look like? Okay, let's go. 2 plus 2 equals to 4. Have a seat. Asanteni sana. Let me now welcome Kimani kutoka Tumaini Innovation Hub. You see now they are happy. Ningekupea saa zile ungekwama. So ndio, karibu sana. Welcome, sir.
Good evening. I'm really feeling like, in front of me is my teacher from RVTTI. It's surprising that at 40, I'm also a student at RVTTI. I was learning there mechatronics, a diploma, and then I got an opportunity to go to the UK and do education technology. I'm coming back, Mwalimu Unifunze. Those systems you mentioned, I'm still a student, and education never stops, and technology makes education to continue even in an easier way. So I do have a presentation. I have my team here. I just want to talk about how you can use education to reach out even to the most vulnerable group of people. I'm Samuel Kimani. I'm a director at Tumaini Innovation Center. We support young people, especially those living and working on the streets of Eldoret. We bring them from the streets to their homes. Then we bring them to a vocational training center where we support them with their vocational training skills in motor vehicle mechanics, electrical wiring, and others catering and hairdressing, and then we help them to get a job. And we've been highly supported by the county. Mangia, for my former students when I was a high school teacher, and my friend Magdalene, whom we've had a long walk in the space of technology. So just to start, we started, basically I just want to look at education technology in solving complex problems. Then I'll give an example of one of the things we've done, then I'll close, because I don't want to water down the amazing talks that people have mentioned here. So to the next slide, we went with soccer to the street to gain rapport with the street-connected young people. You can do a technology with anyone. Just as first listen to them. They have the solution. Don't go with the technology to the user. Have the user develop the technology with you. And then we move to a space where we then, as you can see here, this is a picture. And are you able to identify a human being in the picture? Yes, there. And what else can you see? The words in the painting. There used to be a Peter Marangi some days back. What does it say, the sentence? It doesn't look like much now. Wait until it is painted. So technology can also support even those ones. So the next slide. And so when we were supporting street-connected young people, we took them to schools, and they refused. They came back to the streets. And the county government actually took me and told me to close the center. The county doesn't, that's where you develop technology or a system, but the government will always come. So remember, compliance. Sindio, sir, compliance is key, yes. And so they told us that they want to make money. And so this is a young man. What do you think is behind them? Just shout. Oh, hallelujah. The technology is awesome. Most of the people never see the truck. They think it's a couple in a supermarket. Actually, they are hanging out in some space here in Eldoret by the truck. And in this picture, they told us they just want to have a family in future. And they don't want to go back to school. So we had to innovate a way in which we can support them. Next slide. And so we came up with the Tumaini Center. Next one. And this is what we do. We provide rehabilitation as a process of getting them up the ladder, basic literacy using technology, and then we then help them to get into potential spaces where they can get jobs. Next one. So you see, these are former young people on the street, and here they are developing a solution using a mobile-based education engineering curriculum that is very, very simple. And so out of those things, I've been able to come up with a vehicle that we work with farmers. We list them out to, and we've made this three-wheeler vehicle. They support farmers with agricultural mechanization and other products that we'll mention. Next one. So our education technology is called Localized Engineering Education, which is a curriculum that uses the design thinking. You know, here in Magdalene, we learned that something when we were fellows at Mandela, Washington. You empathize. Listen to the person you want to support with the technology. Sawa sawa. Don't develop the technology, go back to the user first. Solve their pain, solve their problem. And then when you define and test the solution with them, it becomes their product, not yours. And therefore, when you want to sell it, it is not difficult. Yeah, so yeah, to the next. So we've developed several. So this is what we did. We were teaching them solar installation, and then we went to Ilula and asked people there with big, nice houses in Beliomo if they needed solar panels. And we were shocked. People there said, stima ikipotea, wanaiba ng'ombe na kuku na kondoo. So mnaweza kuja na kitu ya solar yenye itafanya watu wasituibie. So they didn't even need the panels at that time. We listened to their problems. Are you getting this? And so the localized education program basically goes to the person, asks what is your challenge, uses the design thinking process, and a little bit of technical engineering, like what I'm learning in RVTTI, to create the solution. So that's the first solution that we created, a solar alert product that basically uses solar power. Then if there's anything that there's anybody who comes, it has a sensor, and then it alerts you that the intruder has come, and then it deters the burglar from coming because it makes a little bit of noise, and then it lights up. And so this was developed by former street connected young people. Next. And so we've done this that I've mentioned, the vehicle, again from talking to farmers with our motor vehicle mechanic class and the class that has in welding. But I also want to say about the Muzungu factor. We've also been very good at talking to those people, and so we work with Purdue Engineering Education, and so if you need help with fundraising, please talk to me. I've done a lot of fundraising, and this is Godek, the ambassador of US visiting us, and even this vehicle, our president has rode in it, so unajua PR. Know people because they are your net worth. Don't stay with your technology. People fear once they develop a technology at wataniibia, it will it has to go outside. And ChatGPT will look at it and even copy it. So don't fear. Go out, test it, ask people, it will help. Next one. And so we have the vocational training center and we help even young people. Now we started with street connected young people. People from the community are even bringing their own. So it started from a street shule ya Chokora to a vocational training center, licensed by the county government, thank you very much, and TVET. So I can talk about the next one. So this is the one that we have mentioned, the solar alert intrusion detection security system. But the person who developed it was a community girl who was also a student at RVTTI. She had finished RVTTI, she came by the center to volunteer, and she developed this together with street connected young people. And so I want her to come and speak, because the innovator is here. Niwache kungaria vitu za wenyewe, si ndio? Yes. Karibu Mary. We go to the next one as she talks. Karibu Mary, it's your turn. I will support you the way you want. Yes. Go on. No, she's a little bit shaky, so I'm here to support her. Go on.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Mary Mwigai. As you've heard, I started my certificate in RVTTI in information technology. I went on to doing my diploma in the same school, RVTTI. Then now I'm doing my degree in University of Eldoret. And I'll talk about solar alert system. It's actually a security gadget that texts you. It's an embedded system that texts you or calls you whenever an intruder has come to your place. It sounds an alarm and flashes light. We started from desktop. I called it my spider prototype. This product here is where I was just testing the idea after the students has come. I went to the community and asked the community about the things that they might need. That is insecurity issues, which is capable of the insecurity there that was draining their community, and their chicken were being stolen from their chicken hatch. So this one, I call it my spider, because you can see the cable out. So we went to the community again with our first product. I call it my alpha prototype. Next slide. Yeah, so this one is the spider. This is our first, then this is our alpha prototype. This product was our second prototype. Yeah, that we have already piloted it to our first client for 1 week. And the client is extremely happy about the product, and she promised to give us positive feedback. So when we took it to the community, the lady we piloted it to, to the community, mentioned that the gadget is not loud enough. And now she suggested that we can have an external buzzer that will be loud enough for him when he's sleeping, he can also be able to see. We went to this one, I call it my beta product. But when I took it to the community, it was 3D printed, so it was not waterproofed. And I had an external siren, which was actually outside. Then again, what they said, I'll put it in Kiswahili. This thing ni kubwa sana. Mwizi akikuja ataona. So we had to come back to the again mnarudi tena kwa, of course, kwa meza, si ndio, kwa workshop. We came up with the product. Eric, please. Yeah. So unaona, this is our beta product, which is market fit. This, you can see it is small, right? And it has the capability of flashing light. It has a PIR sensor. It has the siren here. And you can see it is locally made. It's Tumaini Innovation Solutions. Yeah. So on this one, again, when we took it back to the, okay, sorry about that. So we have two products. That one that is powered only by solar, it only sounds an alarm and flashlight after detection of the motion. We are using the infrared sensor. And then we have now this product, which I call it beta, still beta. Also, this one is my beta because that one was upgradation. This one is upgradation of that one. So with this one, I have now the AC. You can connect it to the power. If you want it indoors, you can connect it to the power, to the electricity. And then it will do the same function. Thank you. I'm going to welcome, to give it back to Mr. Kiwani. Yeah, thank you.
So, Mwalimu Kendagor, asanti kwa sababu ni mwanafunzi wako. Thank you so much because this is your student. And she now teaches ICT at Tumaini and helps develop products together with the young people there. So Eric, please talk about how you've been selling these things in the community briefly, and then we can close. I hope we haven't taken so much time. Very, very briefly. Yes, just a minute. Yes.
Thank you so much. Habari ya wote? Nimekuja na kizungu ya Nairobi ikaishia mahali hapo Kinoo. So thank you so much, Eldohub, for this opportunity. MC, lack of the hair, I will say in the famous words of BN, kipara bila pesa, kidonda. Sindio? So these solar alert products and the PAP, the Agro Rover, we have had so much work to do with selling it to the people, with getting the product out, with getting certifications from the government. Thank you so much to the government for what you have been doing. Just a little bit, one more thing for you to do. Maybe you can change this. This is not Eldoret. Yes. ChatGPT. It looks good though. So one of the things that we are really... One of the things we are really working on is getting the story of these products to the people because they are our market. So telling people how technology has helped us even with reaching the young people who are street connected. It has helped us in rote learning because some of the kids come from the streets, they do not know how to read, how to write. And rote learning, what the MC was teaching us, 1 + 1 = 2. That is what we use from the simple, most basic of technologies, using that to teach. Because they are vulnerable and they're from the street. Sometimes when you shout at them, so you have to use technology in teaching. We're also using it in social activities, in dancing, in content creation, because some of them come with different talents. They may not know how to read and write, but they can dance. They can create TikTok videos, and TikTok is huge nowadays, right? So using these technologies, selling this to the people, and by the way, these products are certified. We can come and we can sell it to you. The solar alert goes for 3,500. So it's very cheap compared to other security options. So I will not go into much detail. So thank you so much for this opportunity. If you wish to innovate, please come to our center. It's at Kapsoya, and we will be able to help you. You've been awesome. I've been Eric. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate. So final, the lessons, the next one is that leverage on low-cost technology with education technology. Look for something that is affordable, okay? Don't look for something that is too complicated when you're working with people at the bottom. The other one, invest at people at the bottom of the pyramid. They still can use technology even when you're supporting them. Thank you very much. We really honor this. Thank you. Yes.
Haya, moja, mbili, tatu, ya innovation, fungua, funga. Now, thank you for your patience. We appreciate CEO, our visitors. Thank you for your patience. We just have a run of about 2 minutes. Then after this, I will ask our CEO, Magdalene, to close this session officially. Baada ya hapa, yes, kuna kachai. So hold on. We just want to do something for 3 minutes before we hand over to the CEO. How has the session been? Nice? We ready for the next one? Wale wana innovate, please innovate something that will do social engineering for, no, tutaona kando ya tent. There's something I need, so maybe I'll maini. Let me welcome my brother here. Anaitwa Anton. Najua hii majina zingine ni a group of schools. Si Brayo na Kevo tumezoea, simple. Welcome, bro.
Asante sana. Technology is such an amazing thing. First of all, I want to compliment, before I go to my name, because of the honors, Mary Mugai for innovation. It's an amazing thing. You know, when you talk about technology, mostly people relate it to going to campus, doing such sophisticated degrees, such big school. But you see, her journey has been a very amazing journey, so that she was able to present us what she's presented us. So my name is Felton Barry. I'm in charge of marketing and all marketing strategies for Eldohub. I would also wish to welcome you and thank you for your patience. I believe it has been a good session. Has it been? Yeah, we look forward to the last Friday of each month. We'll be having such sessions, so you are encouraged to come along with your friends. And we also welcome you to our programs. If you go through our website, you'll be able to know what we offer at Eldohub. It's really, really, really beneficial to us. I can see the age range is between 25 to 35. So our doors are always open, though we have one door, so our door is always open. So Eldohub has gone through a lot of transformative journey up to today. We've done a lot of transformation in terms of whatever you can see for today. When it started, it was not like this. So on that note, I want to welcome our CEO, Magdalene, to launch us our new logo, rebranding. We've been rebranding lately. So,
CEO, we have a new brand. See to marriage brand. We are new. And then in case you need to go for a short while or a long while, it is at the farthest end. Maybe we didn't give those directions. Magdalene, karibu sana.
So rebranding, I think, means starting a new, changing gears kidogo. So I want to encourage us that if you're new here, this is an opportunity to also get to start off this journey with a new face that we're having today. So on that note, like I said, I'll be welcoming my CEO, my boss, Magdalene, to officially launch, and you're also here to witness. So it's a journey that we're starting together, Ma. Yeah, so we're starting it together. So we also open our doors for you so that we continue the journey. Magdalene, karibu.
Asante sana. So this is, we've changed from the green, the other green that we had, and we now have the new, our new logo, which is still Eldohub. So that's our new branding. So if you see it, it's still Eldohub using the same logo, but now we have the gold, the green, I don't know, what was it, the green again called? What was the green? There was it's a very good name for this green. There is this green. Sarah? Huh? And this one, this other green? Metallic. There is metallic is the yellow one. Yeah, those green. But now we are going to use this green just for our new branding going forward. We've grown, and I think as Eldohub, since we started, we've had impacted over, we did our own calculation recently when we did an audit on some of the things that we've done, and we realized we've actually created 38,000 jobs across the country. We've worked in 40 counties, and if Albert has, I don't know if you've been able to get how 2023 was for us. And since we started from humble beginning. I know Kimani knows about this. And I think we was a Mandela Washington Fellow. So we say that as Eldohub, we need also to reflect on this growth. And this is how our 2023 was. This is the graduates, the innovators that graduated, including our very good friend here, who has a very good platform that he needs to apply for the EdTech Fellowship. So last year we hosted a very high profile dignitaries, like we hosted the USAID, the US Embassy, we hosted the British High Commission, we had a whole ambassador of the UK, of the British High Commission who came here. We also hosted the ambassador, Meg Whitman, during the Devolution Conference. Go back to, just go back to the first page. Yeah, we also hosted that. We had several boot camps for the kids, and some of our innovators actually went to the US, including Joy Raburu, who went to the US, including our principal here, partnering with an institution in Washington. And we also got several awards. We also got, launched the Sasa Kazi digital platform, which is our flagship program just to support digital jobs. And we are currently partnering with ILO, International Labour Organization. We are running an acceleration program in Turkana and Garissa County, where we are targeting 12 startups that we are going to give funding, ranging from 5,000 USD to 40,000 USD. And mostly we want to support employment, decent work and employability skills. And also now focusing on the refugees and the host community. Another thing that we did is we also had a chance to meet the US First Lady when she came to Kenya, and we shared our work, especially supporting women and girls in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And had an honor of meeting the Majesty, the King, when he came to the country. So our work at Eldohub has been recognized, and we feel like this also needs to reflect on our growth. Next page, please. I also received different awards, including the ones he mentioned. I was invited for several conferences, one in Addis Ababa, Tallinn, Estonia, where I was able to see the different technologies and different innovation that actually we can borrow. You know, Estonia is a country which has 1.3 million people, but most of the unicorns come from Estonia.
like Bolt, I don't know, and several others. And they have a very good startup ecosystem, which brings in the government. And I think this also informed why we are creating the monthly innovation forum, because we want all the innovation. You know, you can be in Eldoret, but you are impacting lives across the country. And that's the spirit which we want to carry on going forward. Of course, that's the Ambassador Make With Man, the launch of Sasakazi next. That's all the visits that we got, the hype, the US First Lady to Kenya. We have the British High Commissioner joining us. We also had the first Tech Innovation Forum, which we had in December. The signatories, county, and everyone, yes, gone. And then this is the launch of Sasakazi, the digital platform, which is also an education technology platform. It has key tools and resources that can help you actually access job opportunities. But then we work with MSMEs, and not just MSMEs, also the public sector, and also established organizations. So please go to sasakazi.co.ke or sasakazi.com. Get to also learn. If you are a student and you need to walk the journey with us, please go through an assessment. Once you are done with the assessment, we are able to link you up to different opportunities. And we were profiled by different media houses. It was attended by the Deputy High Commissioner. It was also launched by the PSICT and several Ministry of ICT people, including also Konza, Technopolis. Yeah, keep going. So we participated at the Kenya Innovation Week last year. And during the event, I was a panelist. We had the High Commissioner, the current High Commissioner. The one who came to Eldohub was Jane Marriott, who was the former. And now we have a new High Commissioner. We signed several MOUs, including with the organization in South Africa, including organization in Ethiopia, and most of them also is to create opportunities for Kenyans and leveraging on Sasakazi platform. And now we have the Miliki Business Acceleration Program. We are going to run 3 cohorts every year, and I want any innovator, please register for the program. We are going to help you. We have several mentors. We have several mentors. We have several experts, both locally and international, who are going to unhold you. We will provide one-on-one mentorship after the training program has been completed. So that means, you know, we can expose your innovation to growth and scalability. And I think also the African market is a very good innovation. Currently, we have 400 in our cohort, 3 cohorts. We are running one in Nyandarua, Nakuru, and Elgeyo Marakwet. Of course, we work within Eldoret, so we have several of them. Go back again. Yeah, so this is an award that I got with Alibaba. In which city was it? Hangzhou. It is Eldohub, not me though. So we were recognized. That means also we can actually go as global as Eldoret. And, you know, yeah, so please learn more about Eldohub. I've already explained what Eldohub is. We do education, innovation, and technology, and we run an Eldohub Innovation Academy, which you need to register, because he is part of our Eldohub Innovation, and he came out with a product. He has a whole product which he can make millions and millions of money. So you can, it's our main aim is for innovation. So please enroll yourself, talk to your parents. There's a fee that we charge, but then also to facilitate the entire process, bringing in all those experts among other things, but get to know. I think we've shared some few documents. And of course, the kids program, I think we've done very well, including getting mentors from the US, Megan and Michelle Boit, and several other facilitators who've been supporting the robotic class. And now we have a well-designed kids program. So if you have children, you have relatives or anyone between 6 to 17 years, let them take our program, which is a year program, and we do pitching at the end of the year for the kids and teenagers, and we also want them to develop different programs, different innovations, and we have they are doing very well, and so most of them know how to pitch already. So this kids program, we've incorporated entrepreneurship just to make sure you know what they are not thinking of employment. They're not just thinking of being consumers of ChatGPT. They are also being able to explore that. So we have different kids, and also we want to implement the mentorship for them. You know, the path that they want to take, they can actually be using the path, you know, they can take a path that, you know, they want to be good in software development or any other area. So we give them also mentors, and we are working with universities again, both locally and international. Some of the universities that we have an agreement with include Thunderbird Global School of Management. We have Silliman University in Philippines. Thunderbird is a US organization. We have another university in Indonesia, and we'll continue seeing ways in which, because this kid, you're not just, with ChatGPT and technology, you are not just competing with your fellow colleagues, you are competing globally. Yeah, so you need to think global, and also you need to innovate. So even if you are going to get employment, there's something called entrepreneurship that is going to help you to actually innovate while you are employed. So please check out our work. We are going to send you this newsletter, and make sure that you register. There is academy.eldohub.co.ke, and you learn all the coding, you know, including digital marketing, e-commerce, and several other programs that we have lined up for you for the year. So this is the wonderful change. So that's why we've also changed our branding, and I hope you like it, the new branding. We didn't use your color. Yeah. So, and I think, let me close, right? Yeah, so thank you very much for joining us today. I know Rift Valley RVTTI, thanks for joining us. County, we are a very good partner. We've been working together. We'll continue working together. And IHUB, thank you so much, coming all the way from Nairobi. Watu wa tent ya Nairobi, you did very well. Asanteni sana. I think everyone now is going to apply for education technology, and you are going to get the best innovations in Eldoret. So we are going to give you a very hard task of selecting the best innovations. And I'm happy that you are not only considering Nairobi. I think also we are here. Life in Nairobi is very expensive for the young people. So, you know, locating to, you know, but if you can do the same thing here, I think it's a way to go. So thank you very much. We will share, if you can share with us the slides, and then we can be able to share with the rest, and they can be able to apply. So thank you very much. MU Technology, we've been partnering for the longest. Thank you so much for joining us. Moi University, Enactors, Aish. Those are the best people that we've been working with. Moi University. There is also Alt Prize. I don't know if they're here. Thank you so much. The speakers, Tumaini, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing about your work. And also the panelists, thank you so much for giving your insights and sharing about how we can leverage technology to improve and empower our children from the basic to tertiary to university, all that. I think the insights was very good, and I think the county came in very well, very strongly telling us about how policies can actually change, can be used to create an enabling environment. And you see when the academia, you know, the innovation hub, the private sector, if they come together, I think we can do so much. And with the county, we are organizing innovation awards that we are also going to select some of the best innovations that we are going to provide some kind of support. And I think we'll be sharing with all of you once that is. So thank you so much, the county. And the team from Eldohub, thank you very much for always putting together things and organizing this, mobilizing all these people that came. I think we received over 150 applications or something that applied, but thank you so much that the young people and everyone here showed up. So asanteni sana. Mujipigie makofi. Sindio? You know, you could be, it's a Friday night. You could be doing something else. You could be drinking, but you decided, you know what? Or some of you could be doing other things, but you decided to come here and to try and do something very important, listen to people, network, and all that. So we really, really, really appreciate our audience. Thank you so much. Please, if you need anything, just call us. I think Sarah has been the one in contact with all of you, but we'll be happy. So this is your home. If you can always check in on us or just visit us and get to know what we do and how you can benefit. So asanteni sana, there is tea, snacks, and networking after this. Otherwise, asanteni sana. Sorry for the time. What time is it? 7. Poleni sana. Maneno ni mingi. Watu wa county wanaongeanga mingi. But asante sana.
Thank you, Magdalene, for that amazing closing. I've been asked to pray. Yes. But before I do that, last month I was in the US, Washington, D.C. It's very unfortunate that by next week, so this summer last month, bado. Too bad. I'll start using recently. Awesome. My name is Albert Kipchirchir. I am the academy lead at Eldohub Innovation Academy. And Magdalene has spoken a lot about the academy. You are all welcomed. You can always reach out to us. We have your contacts. We are very open people. Please, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to us at any point. There was a conversation that I wanted to just chip in very, very briefly about AI. Someone said that you can laugh with emojis, but then what about, or how about integrate AI so that whenever we start clapping, watu wawili wakiclap tu, microphone, speakers ziendelee. Sindio? You can do that, it's very feasible. Most of us are techies, it's feasible, sindio? It can work, sindio? Enable your microphone so that ikisikia tu claps mbili, inachukua, na inapiga 3 seconds, sindio? So basically what I'm trying to say is the skills that we need is in a change. That's how we need different set of skills. Not that AI imekuja kuharibu mambo, not that we can't do the assignments. We need different kind of assignments. That's how we need different kinds of assignments, and that is for everyone, including the kids. And that is what we're trying to do here at Eldohub Innovation Academy. Let's believe and pray. Father God, we thank you for this great day. We thank you for the success of this event. We thank you for everyone who's managed to join us. As we head for the little snack that is prepared for us, bless the meal so that it may enrich our bodies and our souls. As we also depart to our various homes and residences, we ask for your blessings. Bless everyone who's part of this community. I pray this, trusting and believing in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you very much. We have snacks. You can just hapa nje too.